jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
This fight has picked up incredible amount of traction as of late. Why? Because it's just one of the pieces to what's expected. I guess what we expect to happen at 147-pound division. Shout out to the first in the building, man. BG, Bug Unstop Canelo. Salute to you. Yeah, let me throw that up there for the replay gang because, you know, my GPS is heading in that direction, goddammit. I had to pretty much do a presser reaction because we're dealing with the fighter who I've had my share of critiques about. Not so much as far as how he acts as a young black man in life. That's not it. I've just always said that the old guard is moving out right now. They're in transition. It's a changeover that's happening. So with that changeover, I'm asking myself, who's going to be next as far as to be the showman, to pretty much, you know, get the fight fans to tune in. And I always say the hype that's behind Boots, you know, based off the Errol Spence, you know what I'm saying, subliminal transformation, transparency, whatever's supposed to happen, it didn't quite go that way. So how is he going to, you know, allow himself to come to the forefront? He has to work on building up pressures better. He has to be able to jump outside his comfort zone and not say the same shit all the time. That goes for him and his team. Now, once again, this is just boxing talk. This don't have anything to do with any personal jabs or shit like that. But you have a big fight coming up, a unification at 147, and there's certain things that remains the same. Those we're going to talk about. We're going to get to the audio. I want you to go along with me. I'm going to drop my 2 cents and you know, what's being said in the presser. And, of course, I have some criticism. You know, I'm not saying Stanionis shouldn't do his part. But right now, over here, where I'm at, you know, Jerron Boots Ennis is a big name. There's a lot of eyes on him. The expectations is heavy. Forget palms being sweaty. Let's get down to this presser. And please, If you are close to the refrigerator, grab a cold beverage. If you have some Red Bull, Monster energy drinks, or whatever the case, whatever fancies you, right? Get some tea. Just don't fall asleep.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we happy to get this fight, and y'all gonna see a Moose step up better. As more competition go up, he go up.
People talk about the style of this fight as well. Stanionis comes forward, all action as well. Kind of fight that we're going to see the best of your brother.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna bring out all the tools. We'll see.
And rumours of a comeback for you, definitely not, or you know, we've heard about the ability that you have. But people talk about I think you claimed yourself to be the best Ennis at one stage. Is that right, Boots?
Line me up, heavyweight. I'll take it.
Jesse, welcome. A huge fight for your man. So just right off the rip, Team Ennis go first, of course, and it's not too much said. Fellas, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it just comes off like when you say the same thing, you mumbling. You know, you're gonna show us all this. We heard that, man. Just give us one of those moon rock landings that we want. We want a meteorite effect. God damn it, give us something. Flip the table or something. Goddamn, have Derek Chisora run out that bitch and get it popping. You know how he get down. I mean, god damn, light this motherfucker up. We need some energy. Not mumble rap, goddammit.
You know, he's, like Tom said, been a road warrior, never turned down an opportunity. Very few willing to put their hand up to fight Boots Ennis. Your man did, and again, an opportunity to be crowned the king of the division on Saturday.
And that's a beautiful thing about working with Imantas. He has said no to no one. As a matter of fact, most people that we've asked to fight against have said no to us. I really want to thank TGB and PBC for stepping up to the plate and backing us 100% and chasing this fight down, because that's what we did. We went to Vegas in December, talked to TGB personally, said, we want Ennis, period. And they delivered the fight. Eddie, thank you for putting it together and making it happen for us. Coming April 12th, you're going to see that it's not one-dimensional Imantas. There's more than one.
Okay, so they said it's not a one-dimensional Imantas. It's more than one, right? Because there was a little bit of chatter going around that Imantas is one-dimensional. That's not to say that they was lying. Like they said that about Spence, and it turned out to be the truth. Why? Because Bud Crawford made him look as such, one-dimensional. As in Stanionis, it comes down to the game plan. Whatever game plan they have. If they did not stay up long nights trying to come up with a solid game plan for this fight with Ennis, then it's going to play out pretty much what a lot of people think. But you do have another side of the boxing fans that's giving Stanionis the check in the box. It's a lot of people that's saying, hey, this ain't no easy fight like you all think. I think some people are getting Keyshawn and Baranchek confused with Jaron Ennis going in there and fighting Imantas Stanionis. They think it's going to be an early go. Let's keep moving.
Marvin, big fight for you in the corner on Saturday night. You're always smiling.
Yeah.
You believe you'll be smiling come midnight on Saturday?
We will try. You know, it's been a long journey for Imantas. Imantas turned pro 2017. He became a world champion 2022, April. You know, 3 years later, we are fighting Boots Ennis for unification and the Ring Magazine Championship. You know, not every day is the best day, but we're gonna do the same on April 12th. We will come out victorious. That's it.
Thank you, Marvin.
So his team saying they're going to come out victorious when they step in there this weekend. All right? They're sure they're going to come out victorious. They're talking the talk up to a certain point. Hey, we did what we had to do. We're going to come out victorious. They're talking about when Stanionis turned professional and what his plans are come this weekend.
Bozy, welcome. It's been, as Tom said.
Now, before he get to Bozy, All I'm saying, Bozy, whatever you do, please don't say what we've heard already. We understand Bozy ain't nothing to play with, man. Shout out to that black man. His age, man. You know what I'm saying? He's still out there whooping feet if he wanted to in the streets and in the gym. But this doesn't have anything to do with your record out there on the sidewalk. But, you know, WCS is just saying that when it comes to Team Ennis, y'all tend to retread the same thoughts over and over again. It becomes repetitive.
Two great shows in Philadelphia, two fights not difficult to get up for, but kind of knew the result before we stepped in the ring and had to go through and put the performance together. A different kind of fight this time. Very aware of the threat of this great fighter, but you believe this will bring out the very best of your son and prove to the world that he's the number one in the division.
I mean, I want to say hello to everybody out there, but Boots never went to another level yet. I hope Stanionis can bring it out of him. You know what I mean?
See, I like what you're saying there, Bozy. I like what you're saying, man. You know what I'm saying? You starting out the gate, man. Bozy, let me show you the Bozy right now. Let me take this thumbnail down right quick. Look at Bozy. Bozy sported the full snow beard right there, representing the older OGs in the game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he came out the box, said, we hope Stanionis is the one to do it. Boots haven't went to another level. And this all what the boxing fans want to see. We're looking for Boots to level change. That level change being going in there, taking control of the fight out the gate, sustaining control of the fight through the mid rounds and the late rounds. Show that domineering, imposing, intimidating figure that the fight fans believe that you have as a boxer. Show them the whole entire cachet, goddammit. I like what Bozy said out the gate. He has a point. Can Stanionis bring it up out of him?
That's what I'm waiting on. You know what I mean? Then you're going to see another different Boots. You know what I mean? He just go out there and do what he do. You know what I mean? But if Stanionis can bring it out, you're going to see something. It's not going to last that long.
You believe Jerome wins this fight inside the distance?
Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I was listening to Tom Brown talking. You know what I mean? We and him go way back too. I said, but he know that Boots been asked for Stanionis a long time ago. He never said that just now. You know what I mean?
Not to fuel any discord. I like that energy Bozy giving, talking about, yeah, me and Tom Brown go back we go back a year or two. Yeah, we know each other. Very familiar. But he put it out there that they asked for Stanionis a while back, and they didn't want to give Boots the fight. He didn't say that in the initial opening. I like it. I like where he's going with it.
We asked for Stanionis. We asked for Crawford. We asked for the Thurman. We asked.
Sir, you said Crawford. I hope that wasn't back in 2018. You're not talking about back in 2018, were you? Because I have an issue with that.
For what's his name, Spence? We asked for all of them back then. At that time, nobody was willing to fight Boots now, and I guess at the last fight they saw something. They thought they saw something anyway, but that was a blessing. That last fight. Now everybody want to fight. Let's fight and stop running their mouth. Let's fight and see who's gonna be victorious. I know who's gonna be victorious. I don't think it's gonna last that long.
All right, Mr. Bozy, I've heard you mention that times before. I get it. You want to say it's gonna, you want to hype it up. We've heard you say it's not gonna last that long. It's not gonna last that long. We've heard that on repeat several times before, and it didn't happen. I get that's a part of your verbal sparring. It's not gonna last that long, but I must explain this to you. All right. When you speak of the post-fight with Boots there, Bozy, the post-fight that he had with Karen Chukazakin, your son, the same one that you saying that you hope that Stanionis can bring it up out of him, people was insinuating that Boots performed to the level of his opposition, right? And also, I must basically highlight the point where Boots made mention that he wanted to move up to 154 pounds. He had the look of uncertainty on his face, like, nah, I can't do it. And that's going to caveat to what BG was talking about. You know, he was unsure. He was like, hey, man, I guess, 154 it is and all this other shit. Because people just thought, man, I'm looking for Boots to give me more. Like his dad say, we hope Stanionis can put up. We haven't seen the best Boots. So after that fight with Karen, it was all these people walking around playing these harmonicas and flutes and goddamn saxophones and shit. They had their own band going from out. Oh man, not every fighter has a good night. Boots still went in there and dominated. But I'm not talking so much to him dominating. It's the fact that this man was talking about he was ready to move up to 154. He was seem unsure himself. So when you talk about him fighting to the level of his competition, to his fans, you really have to assess what you're talking about. Like, just do a minor calibration. Think about that. This guy said it's time for him to move up to 154, I guess, and he was looking like a victim. He was out there he won the freaking fight, but he didn't win the fight in the hearts of his fans, bro. So what he was trying to do is be passive aggressive.
Mantis, they don't think it's going to last that long. You're renowned for your engine, you're renowned for your toughness. The whole boxing world in anticipation of this tremendous fight this Saturday. You look fresh, you look happy, you're ready for war.
Yes, hello everybody. First of all, I want to thank my team, for making this fight. Also, Matchroom and you, Eddie, for making this happen. Yeah, it's a big opportunity. I know Ennis is a very good fighter, but I came here to give all my heart, and put the best show that I can put. So I know they're thinking they might knock me out or something. First of all, I never been knocked out, so.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about, Stanionis. Stanionis, I ain't never been knocked out. I know you're speaking on my name, saying you look to knock me out, but I've never been knocked out. I like that. He didn't really, have extended or extreme rise of inflection of the voice. He just said, hey, you talking about knocking me out? I've never been knocked out. So that kind of ties into what Bosie's saying. Bosie Ennis is hoping that Stanionis brings Boots or take Boots or force Boots into a whole nother level so we can see him shine. But my take on it is, why does it have to be up to someone else to basically wrangle the inside, bring that courage out of you, Boots, to go in there and dominate your opponent like they aren't supposed to be in the ring with you? I think this is going to be one of those fights where it's a 50-50. Bosie has been on record, as he's been before, saying it's going to be an early night. And Stanionis just replied and say, I've never been knocked out. Of course, he's undefeated. He's saying, I've never been stopped. Is Boots going to be the one who do it? I don't know. But I like the subtle comeback. You know what I'm saying? I like the subtle, jab, the counter punch that Stanionis replied to Boots Ennis.
We'll see. It's always for the first time, but April 12th, I'm going to do my best, and I came here for a victory, not just to walk in the park, I went to, this camp was like my most brutal training. It was the longest. I sacrificed a lot. I leave my family, my wife is pregnant. The baby might come today or tomorrow, so it's like a lot of sacrifices I put because I love the sport. And
Stanionis is talking about sacrifices. He's saying his baby may come today or tomorrow. So really, when you attempt to, say, well, where's his mindset at? That's a good question. Sometimes they go over the top where they want to prove and say, hey, I would definitely like to win another title, being that I'm about to have my first kid. I have a baby on the way. Or some may consider it to be a distraction. I don't know. I'm not going to pick either one, but it can play both sides of the coin on this particular night. if his kid is born before the fight, then he has that on his mind. Is it going to distract him or motivate him? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But he said he had a brutal fight camp. He said he was away. He made the sacrifice from his family. That is my one huge question mark about fight camps for Jaron Ennis is his comfort of being there in Philly. I don't hear too much about Jaron Ennis leaving Philly. Sacrifice. I haven't heard of him having any kids or, a fiance or a wife or something like that. But that's just a concern of mine. Is he willing to just leave that special treatment of fight camp and go somewhere else, away from friends and family? Is he capable of doing this? Because this fight is not too far away from where Ennis is at. I understand what certain people are going to say, well, everybody don't have to go off into a distant land, lock in for a fight camp. Some can train at home. You're right. You're absolutely right. Some fighters can train at home base.
Believe in myself and see you on April 12th, and I will give all my heart.
I just want to confirm to fight fans making the trip down to Atlantic City and watching live on DAZN that, if the baby does come, you're not flying home or anything. We're staying in Atlantic City, right?
Yes, for sure. We are prepared for everything.
But what we have seen in the content and everything from training camp, you've pushed yourself to the limits for this fight. Is that because of the opportunity and of course, because of the opponent that you have in front of you?
Yeah, because of the opportunity and the opponent, for sure. I put everything. I left no stones unturned. I left everything. The first time when I finished my last training, I said, thank God I made it. No injuries. Everything is good now. Ready to go.
And finally...
Stanionis said, left no stone unturned. That means if he's walking in the dark and he stump his toe, that didn't stop him from continuing to march on, goddammit. He said he left no stone unturned. Even if he bust his pinky toe while he walking in the dark, doing some goddamn soul searching, clearing his mind for this weekend. This man said he made the sacrifice and left his family behind, and his wife is pregnant, yo. His wife is about to have the kid. Is that going to build him or take him to another level? Like I said before, either it benefited him mentally, right? Or it's going to come off as a distraction. We won't know, because if Boots go in there and have an easy go with Stanionis, they're going to be like, okay, Boots, his level changed, and he went in there and pretty much treated Stanionis unlike any other opponent we ever witnessed. On the flip, Stanionis go in there and he puts on a show with Boots that we've never seen any of Boots' opposition do up to this point. Even Corinne. Oh, man, the conversation is going to be different, yo. The whole mood is going to be different. Boxing in general, man, there's a lot of anticipation anxiety is going on with this annual calendar. And this fight, I like how it's picked up traction. I do. I like the promotion aspect of it. I like how it's picked up traction. Let's keep it going.
We know this is the dream. You'll do whatever it takes to be victorious, take all these belts home on Saturday night and become the king of the division.
Yeah, it means a lot, and I'm looking for...
Well, hold up, Eddie. Hold the F up. See, Eddie, you say some things that I just don't quite understand, Eddie. Listen to me, Mike. Listen to me. You say if he beats Jaron Boots Ennis, he's the king. Says who? We have a belt down here in Atlanta, better known as ATL, better known as the Dirty, Dirty South. What is this king you speak of, Eddie? Don't you dare. You set yourself up for a squabble. I thought we mentioned this before, that we would speak no such language, Eddie. You come up here with the bullshit. Talking about if he beats Jaron Ennis, now all of a sudden he's the king. No one mentioned that here in the South.
Forward to it, to take all these belts to Lithuania on Sunday.
Jaron, welcome. chilled. I don't know if that's block blast or whatever that is you're playing down there.
Sudoku.
Sudoku. You're ready.
What the? You ain't playing no Sudoku on the stage, bro. I know good and goddamn. See, Eddie. Look at Eddie. I gotta remove the thumb. Look at Eddie. His face. Look at the way Eddie's looking. Eddie said, "God damn, Ennis really want me to do everything up here. He really wants." When you hear Ennis say, "You know, I don't need to say much, cause Eddie, he gonna do everything he say. Eddie gonna be the mouthpiece. I don't have to say much. Eddie gonna do what he's got to do. Eddie gonna do what he got to do." He doesn't even. It's almost like, Boots, do you even care that your fans are looking on the stage? You're playing around on a game and not even paying attention, not even engaging those who may be in attendance to listen to this presser, bro. Come on, that ain't cool, man. That ain't cool there, Jerron. You out there playing Sudoku? Man, come on.
Ready. You look chilled. You look relaxed. Yeah. This guy's coming fired up, pumped up, big training camp. I guess, like your dad said, maybe the Tudasian fight, they saw something and the team saw something, but you're ready to prove on Saturday that you're not just the best fighter in the division, but you're a pound-per-pound star of the sport.
Most definitely. Yeah, I'm ready to show out. I'm ready to put on a show, show the world why I'm the best in the world. Come Saturday night, I'm taking home all these belts.
We know that the pressure was on to make that unification. You don't want to keep treading water. And when you looked at the champions, you said anyone. You don't really care. What do you expect this man to bring? All action, a great style as well for the fight fans. You expect this is the toughest fight in the division for you?
We don't know. We'll see on fight night. We expect him to do what he normally do. Come forward, bring pressure, try to throw a lot of punches, try to jab, try to hook. That's it, a typical pressure fighter.
Seems like a fighter to me. It seems like what we've heard before. Do what he's always do, come forward, work the jab, throw the hook. It seems like boxing to me. You know what I'm saying? It seems like we've heard it before.
I don't think he could do much else other than that.
2 tremendous fight nights in Philadelphia. The pressures as well, fighting at home as well. Something different this time, something iconic, the Boardwalk Hall, big fight, big opportunity, big moment coming back to Atlantic City. Excited to experience something a little bit different on the road. We know you've got 10,000 or so fans coming down from Philadelphia. It's going to be completely full in there.
10,000? Did Eddie just say 10,000 fans? So Boots is getting another home cooking. He's getting another home cooking. See, I don't mind that. To a point, I don't mind Boots getting home cooking, but it just goes to show once again he didn't leave the area for fight camp, and he's just up the street for this fight. I don't mind that because you have foreign fighters that they fight at home all the time, over and over and over again. I don't too much mind it except when it's time to level change and go to somewhere else outside of that bubble that you're used to. How is it going to play out for you?
There on Saturday night, excited to fight at this iconic venue.
Most definitely, I'm definitely excited to fight at this iconic venue. One of my favorite fights to watch was Floyd versus Gaddy, and it was in this arena. So, I can't wait. I'm ready. I'm trying to put a historic performance on just like that.
He's trying to put on a historic performance just like that. Boots is trying to put on a historic performance. We looking for you to put on a historic performance, Boots. We room for you, bro. Well, some people are uncertain, unsure, and they're unwilling, their Boots, to just commit to supporting you, even though, you know what I'm saying, you right here in the U.S. grid. But I'm rooting for you, Boots. Outside of me damn near, fighting off stage 1 sleep-itis, I'm doing fairly well, man. I've only slapped myself 15.5 times so far to stay awake.
You talk about that fight and you talk about historic moments. One thing I've learned about working with you is you're all about legacy. You're all about proving yourself as a true great. And What does that mean to you to be fighting for that belt and this belt as well, you know, which we talked about, the iconic names that have won it. We've seen people fighting internationally. We've seen people move up in weight. We know it's well documented about you possibly having a fight at 154, but you've always said to me, the belts is what you want. You want to go down in history as a true great.
Yeah.
Before we go to this true great there, Eddie, may I speak to you for a moment. Let's understand the progress, Eddie. I know you're like the mouthpiece right here, but you're discarding the welterweight division so easily. It's gonna come back to haunt you, Eddie. Well, you're just saying that once he's finished here, you know, it gets Stanionis out the way, get the ring. You know, you're talking about 154. I mean, is it unfinished business here at the welterweight division? Or else you're trying to, you know, prepare his fight fans for departure. Which one is it, Eddie? He's going to unify welterweight division, or he's going to run to 154. Please, make up your mind, lad. You understand? You know what I mean? Make up your mind.
And most definitely, I want to stamp my name at the welterweight division. You know, with those top guys, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather's. You know, and not too many people could say they fought for the Ring magazine or had it. You know, and on Saturday night I will have it. I'm gonna have the WBA belt and my IBF belt. So, you know, that's stamping my legacy right there. And you know, and from there is up. You know, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna show the world why I'm the best in the world. You know, I really don't want to like say too much because I don't want to get nothing away or nothing like that. But we're gonna put on for sure.
I'm fine.
We've heard that before, Ennis, to be politely fair, right? Politely fair, if that's even a combination of being sincere and calm. To be politely fair there, Ennis, we've heard that before. We heard what your father, Bozy Ennis, has said, that he hopes Stanionis can take you to that next level that we haven't seen yet. Being when you present unseen, you know, greatness, so to speak, to fight fans, they get a little bit restless at times, that Ennis, because if fights keep on happening and we still don't see it, then we get a little perturbed, belligerent. People start acting up. You know what I'm saying? They start becoming your worst critics there, Ennis. So, like I said before, you're saying some of the same things we heard, snapshots that we have seen previously. And we're just hoping that you can kind of step up, level change a little bit, go in there and treat Stanionis a bit different than we expect you to do. Make it seem like it's not a close fight. What we're trying to say is we hope to see a domination, because we haven't seen you go in there and just dominate top-tier opposition such as Stanionis, because it's just not in attendance of your box rec. Okay, I believe you can do it, man. You have some beautiful combination sets when you put your shit together. But like I said before, it seems like your mind just wanders and you start talking to people in empty seats in the crowd. You just start getting distracted for the wrong reasons. It's not so much the punches that are landing on you. It's just you select to take timeouts throughout the fight. We hope not to see that type of activity here with Stanionis.
Finally, I know sometimes people say by any means necessary, but if you're prepared to do so, how do you win on Saturday night, Amantis? When you lay there at night and you think about these belts, you think about the history of the sport, you think about the chance to cement your name in legacy, how do you win on Saturday night?
All gas, no break.
All gas, no break.
Stanionis said all gas, no break. I like that. I like that. All gas, no break. I mean, it all depends. It all depends. It's good for presser. You know what I'm saying? It's good banter. Real talk. It's good trash talk banter. Not too rigid. All gas, no break. You're going to have to stand on that, Stanionis. You're going to have to stand on that. Because one thing we know about Stanionis is he is a pressure fighter. One thing that we know about Boots, when he counters, when he moves and slip punches, yes, he showboat a little bit. Nothing wrong with a little showboating. However you put that cocktail together and serve it out to the goddamn fans. Just make sure when they start to feel a little woozy, it's in a good way. Okay? They're Ennis, it's in a good way. You know, get them feeling a certain type of, you know, buzz and feeling that intoxication the right way, saying, damn, this putting on a goddamn, we didn't expect this from Boots. We didn't expect this type of performance. That's the intoxication I'm talking about. When you sip on that first 2 shots and they hit you just right. Not the kind of oozy like, how far you park from, what level you park in? You park on parking deck number 2 or 3? I don't know, man. What round is it? 6? You want to stay here to the end? I mean, we could beat traffic. We don't want that type of intoxication where people are trying to plan their way out of the building.
Boots, finally, your dad called it. The stoppage could be early.
That's what we want.
You believe that? You believe you win this fight by knockout on Saturday?
Most definitely. I ain't gonna look for it. I ain't gonna look for it, but it's gonna come for sure.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna put on a show. We're gonna make it easy.
No. I don't want to hear that shit, man. We're gonna have fun. No. You had fun before. Fun is over. Real talk. I'm not trying to hear the have fun thing no more. I don't want to hear that shit. I heard that too many times. We're going to have fun. No, because your pop said that we haven't seen the best of Ennis yet. So in other fights that we've witnessed where you said you was going to have fun in and out like a robbery, you stayed in there. I walk up in that motherfucker. I said, man, something ain't right. Goddamn, he say in and out like a robbery. It's been 7 rounds. I haven't seen no sign of Boots. I walk up in that motherfucker. He up there eating shrimp scampi. I said, Boots, you in a fight. I know every robbery, you can't go in and out, man. Sometimes you just have to sit down and just take a break, man. You know, sip on a little something, have fun. You know what I'm saying? It's all about having fun. But you say you was going to have fun inside the ring, Boots. Inside the ring. And that's what I'm talking about, this have fun deal. It's a default response that needs to be put in the archives, bro. Put it in a safe security box and throw away the goddamn key. When you start having fun consistently against top tier opposition, you can go retrieve that key and go back in there and start using it. But man, we've seen previous fights where you said you was going to have fun and the ergonomics just didn't add up. That's all I'm saying. No hate, goddammit. It's almost like you antagonizing the fans, man. You say you just want to have fun, and for sure, I'm not going to go for the knockout, but it's going to come. It's going to come for sure. That's kind of the same thing. That's kind of the same thing. Like, if you're not going to co-sign the knockout, just say, I ain't co-signing. I'm going in there to just put on a great show. However it comes, or whatever with the performance. But I'm not really talking no knockout. I'm just tired of hearing, having fun. Because after the end of the fight, the second part 2 with Karen, you was uncertain yourself. You was talking about 154 and all that shit.
One thing, Eddie,
we're going to show out.
Stanionis is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, man. Can't take nothing away from him. Can't say nothing bad about him. You know what I mean? And we appreciate him taking the fight. You know what I mean?
Well, as I said, I want to say thank you.
He said all gas, no bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we want.
He's gonna run right into some. He's gonna run right into a rock.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A boulder.
Tom, we want the gas. Bring that gas.
Well, Team Stanionis is bringing the gas, and on Saturday night, you will get a night you will never forget at the Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City. A great night of boxing, a great undercard on the global home of boxing, DAZN. And once again, thank you to these 2 great champions.
Okay, enough of Eddie Hearns. I'm just going to put it out there like this. This press conference, it gives you a sprawling sense of both of these guys may complement one another, potentially. They may bring out that reservoir of courage that we haven't seen from either fighter. They may both force each other to tap into the reservoir of courage that both of these guys are going to need to put on a damn good show. Yes, we've heard Ennis talking about they was going to have fun and they're going to show out. But this time, I think he's been listening. I know you have, because I didn't hear you say you're going to be in and out like a robbery. You said it for 2 fights straight the other time. No. We didn't hear it that time. Hey, salute to you, big dog. But I think both of these fighters can force each other to tap into their reservoir of courage and basically venture into another level. Maybe they can push each other to another threshold to make this fight as exciting as it possibly can, bro. Now, to get to what BG mentioned about weight drain, okay? Let's get to the weight drain aspect of it, because that seems to be on people's heart right now. Now, I remember the last fight where Boots looked bad, cutting weight. He just has this beard, okay? The beard, when you talk about the aesthetics, and then when he started to cut weight, I think his facial composition gives off the wrong impression to those who are looking at him. And, some people, when they lose weight, especially if they balloon up or just a little bit more between fights, yeah, they look like they're sick. They look like they're dried out and everything. Boots just has that type of face where he can look like an old man when he starts to lose weight. That's all. And then, when he gained weight, he has a rounder face. What I don't want people to stamp is that somehow, some way, Boots is having tough weight cuts to get down, and that's why I've said this before. That's why his performances does not he's not overachieving in his performances. When we believe he should be an overachiever, he's not. Could it be that he's having tough weight cuts? I've mentioned it before. Then also, I attached that could it be the IBF rehydration clause? It won't matter in this unification. That won't matter. Now we have to look at, is Boots too big for 147 pounds? Just because he's making weight, is he making weight in a healthy manner for which when he rehydrates, he feels strong in there? He has full strength. When his body starts to work through those mechanics and, really start to loosen up in that fight, and he goes through the rigors of the competition and contending against Stanionis, can his engine handle it? That is the bigger question with Ennis in this weight cut, because he does look a certain way. I don't want to put that tag on it, to be honest with you. I don't want to put the tag of weight drain on this cat, because I believe that him and Brian Norman Jr. is going to have a fight sooner or later. And one thing we don't want to hear down here in the South is that Norman, he fought a weight drain. Boots. We don't want to hear that shit, bro. We don't want to hear Norman fought a weight drain. We don't want to hear that shit, bro. The South doesn't want to go through the whole process of what y'all was using for Spence. We cannot have two undisputed expeditions happen at 147 pounds and your favorite fighter didn't win, and you go back to, hey man, you can go back through all the pressers and fight weeks and you can see for yourself that Ennis was weight drained. We cannot have this in our history. We don't want that shit in our history. If that man looked a little bit older when he loses weight, that's because that's how he is. That's how his aesthetics look. He has that beard. You know what I'm saying? Ennis has a small ass head. He started to lose weight. Yeah, you can start seeing his facial features and all that. Hey man, they said their manifesto consists of unifying the 147-pound division. So I don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about with this weight drain shit, because y'all been rooting for Boots for a long time. Let this brother go in here cut weight, and perform. Because when he came in there and he said, maybe it's time to go to 154 pounds, my interpretation was he may have felt a little bit weaker than he thought he would and shit like that. Or he just, in the moment, there might have been more booze than he wanted to hear at the time. You feel me? It could have been a plethora of things. But I don't want to hear this weight drain shit. Y'all sitting up here double timing and on the treadmill with that shit too much, man. Then we have that bullshit with Spence. Now we have a whole different lineup of welterweight contenders. And already y'all worried about Boots being weight drain. Man, let this fight play out the way it's supposed to play out. If y'all cats are looking at Boots and saying, oh, he weight drain. Well, guess what? When I suggest that it'll be good if Norman fights the other champion and basically minimize some of the time it's going to take to set up a third championship fight with Boots if he selects to fight Barrios, there should be no complaints. That cuts down the time. That minimizes the time. We're trying to make sure this gets taken care of in perfect timing. Regardless of who is with what promotion, I keep hearing y'all chirp about Boots being weight drained. He's too big for 147 pounds, but yet his team is saying they're going to stay at 147 to unify. So we have two teams. Team Norman said they're going to be there for the test of time, and Team Ennis said they're going to be there. So guess what? Sooner or later, and this don't have nothing to do with them aging somebody out, because Ennis is 27 and Norman is like what, 24 right now, 25. So therefore, it ain't no aging out. They're going to clash sooner or later. I just don't want you all picking up another broom and trying to sweep away and spray the room down with Febreze. I'm saying, I want to thank all of you for coming by. I do. I just want to talk about the way Ennis looked up there. He looked a little gaunt. Yeah. I just wanted to give him some herbal tea, but he's cutting weight right now. Okay? I don't want to hear that. He looks so exhausted. I don't want to hear that shit again. To hear boxing fans come up with a wheelbarrow of excuses for Spence, carrying around to anyone who would hear, he was high, he was weight drained, he was a broken fighter, all these excuses. Now we coming to Ennis, who doesn't have that baggage with him. And you're hearing so many people talk about weight drain. That's not fair. That's not fair to all the other champions that are at 147 pounds, including Stanionis. It's not fair to him that people are saying Boots look bad when he selected to stay at 147. He turned down the Virgil Ortiz fight. He made the choice to stay there. Okay? So we have to deal with it. All right? We have to deal with it. Shout out to Arnold Brown for the $10 donation to the super chat. Much appreciated, big dog. He said Saturday won't get here fast enough. So I guess I can attach that to Arnold is wanting this fight to hurry up and get here so the opening bell can sound and we can see this match get underway to basically shorten the amount of belts that remains as we want to witness this undisputed quest post-Crawford era, post-Crawford's white glove in the division, okay? We got a whole nother lineup and people are anxious. So BG said he looks super drained. So we have Jaron Ennis looking a certain way. I'm gonna be honest with you. Ennis looked this way against, when he was in there with Karen too. He just have that old look on his face, that older look when he started to cut weight. And plus, those Jeffrey Dahmer freaking bifocals that he has on his face doesn't do anything either, man. It doesn't help him out. I mean, I want to say that might be prescription. For real. I'm not sure. But it seems like it's enough prescription there, enough medicine in those lenses to see an ant sneeze in the dark. I'm just saying, god damn. He say that's BS all the time. Full Papa Smurf. Once again, appreciate Arnold Brown for the $10 super chat. One love to you, brother. Team Ennis is the biggest scam in boxing. Collins is back, and he hasn't changed up his tempo. That's the way he feels. He's sticking to it. You know what I'm saying? He's sticking to it. He said 2+ years, these type of guys are killing the sport. They're all smoke and mirrors. He'd be another guy at 54. I think Team Ennis may underestimate Stanionis. It's unsure. But one thing I can assume out the gate that he's battle ready. I'm hoping. But my thing with Ennis is there a certain level of comfort that may be anchoring him just a bit, or just hindering? I don't know, man. They have mad gym stories about Ennis. But being so close to home all the time and not willing to travel, I don't know, bro. I think Team Ennis is ready. I think Stanionis' team is ready. Whether they're taking Stanionis for granted, you never know with teams. I don't know, bro. I'm not going to jump to conclusions that they're taking him for granted. Even though Ennis has double the amount of wins professionally than Stanionis. That's a fact. If Boots loses this fight, I see a long hiatus in his future. And on the Brown side, I can't wait to the weekend get here. Can't get here quick enough. He's put the IF up in there. The IF, if Boots loses the fight. I kind of despise that. Like, I'm not going to talk ill about Boots. I want Boots to win the fight. I do. I want Boots to. It can set up even bigger fight in the welterweight. I want him to win the fight, man, because you might be right just a little bit. You might be right in prognosticating that, but me, I don't want to prognosticate if he loses. I just want it to be a great fight. I want this to be a fight that no one's seen coming. The shock and awe value is our all-time high. That's what I want to see. Real talk. That's a good question. He said, is anybody else there? Why so quiet? That's what I said. When he was playing that game on his phone, I can only assume, like, God damn, like, you don't hear no one. Like, was it not open to the public? Where was this presser at? Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles? Where was it at? You didn't hear anyone saying too much of anything. So my point is, I was like, hey, man, Boots wasn't interested. It might not have been anyone in front of him, to the fact that he had the best interest in engaging the crowd or whatever. But it may have been, a couple of people here and there. You have to remember, this is a common thing with pressers with Boots Ennis. The same thing happened with him and Cody Crowley. The same thing. He was in the presser with Cody Crowley. Hardly anybody was there. Hardly anybody. But Eddie Hearn say, Jerron, we understand that. You're going to bring 10,000 fans with you up to the Atlantic Boardwalk, which is going to be historic. We'll see. Why don't those 10,000 show up to the pressers? I don't know. They might be at work. Who knows? I'm confused. I'm tired of this next level crap. Bag of tricks baloney. Karen didn't force his hand enough. Stop the cap. Yeah, I feel some type of way about it too. I'm really tired of hearing that next level. I am. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not just co-signing Collins and shit like that, but I've heard that before. I have. I've heard the next level. Please, just work on some others. Like, man, just please do us that one. Do us that one. Sweet sounds don't have nothing to do with it. Just do us that one. Come up with some other one-liners, man. We heard about the next level. You didn't say in and out like a robbery. You said we're going to show out. You still say you're going to have fun. It's getting a little bit miserable. Listen to that for real. It's getting a little bit, it's a little bit too much. It's becoming a bit stifling to me. You know what I'm saying? I want to goddamn edit some shit out. But that ain't my content. I have to sit there and listen to it. Shout out to Carlos Rosado in the building. Salute. I think Boo's going to show out. And I'm being biased because we from the same city. For sure. But hey, I want to see both fighters show out, not just Boots, because I'm curious to know if there's another level to Boots, because they say he's the phenom. When somebody deem you the phenom, then therefore you're gonna have more and more people curious to see this phenomenal specimen that people talk about. They want to witness that shit. That's all I'm saying. We want to witness the phenomenon. When is it going to happen? When? Why is a fighter going in here and they have to have their opponent activate the switch? In order for you to stamp your legacy, in all fairness, and level change, you have to be able to do that autonomously. Why do you need someone else to come up here and activate that switch? You have to be able to do that on your own. Moving on from Ennis. Wish him and Stanionis the best. Okay? Let me read you briefly about what Chris Algieri said. Chris Algieri says IBF welterweight champion Jaron Ennis has a difficult fight ahead of him on Saturday against WBA champion Imantas Stanionis. The 247-pound champions will headline live on DAZN this Saturday, April 12th at the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Algieri states that the things that Karen was able to do in his two fights against Boots that gave him trouble, Stanionis can also do, but with more power and explosiveness. You understands me? With more power and explosiveness. It goes on to say, Ennis, 27, looked confused and technically outclassed by Chukazagan in their two fight. His punching power saved him. If not for that, Boots would have lost both fights because he was getting outboxed by the Ukrainian from A to B. I love this fight. You've got two guys in their prime. It's the absolute one and number two in the division, said Chris Algieri to YSM Sports Media. Talking about Jaron Boots Ennis, Imantas Stanionis welterweight unification fight this Saturday night. Boots Ennis, promoter Eddie Hearn, has been hyping him up after he signed him to a fight contract with Matchroom last year. However, Hearns doesn't sound as excited about him after Ennis' performances against David Avanesian and Corinne. The honeymoon appears to be over. Hearns recently warned that Ennis can't afford another performance like the one he turned in against Karen. Once he get the sense this might be the last fight for Boots with Matchroom if he fails to look like 24-karat gold like he had been when he signed with them a year ago. Ennis hurt his popularity further by rejecting the fight against Virgil Ortiz Jr. at 154 last February, which would have given him millions and some believe made Hearns' investment in him worthwhile. Turning down the big payday opportunity was a blow. It move by Boots because his marketability would have soared if he won. Was it fear? It's not to say it that way. Stylistic nightmare. I rate Stanionis very high, and I have for a long time. So this fight makes too much sense. It's like, what's going on? We're actually getting a fight when we're supposed to happen, when it's supposed to happen. We're not dragging it out. We're not over seasoning them. We're getting the fight when we want it, said our jury. Stanionis and Ennis, Stanionis and Ennis is happening at the perfect time. Listen, it's not an easy fight. Do I lean for Ennis? Absolutely. I lean for Ennis against anybody. But Stanionis, stylistically, he's a nightmare. He's in your face. The things that Karen was able to do with Ennis that gave him trouble. Stanionis does it more explosively and bigger power, said a jury. So a jury has made his point known. You know what I'm saying? Pretty decent summation by Chris Algieri, former champion himself. You know, solid summation. We'll see how Team Ennis makes this happen. That's all I can say. We will see how this fight plays out. Stanionis is nowhere close to being a bum, but what is spoken on in the dark shall come to the light. And from looking at this picture right here, only one of them will be able to stand beneath the bright lights when it's all said and done as the unified welterweight world champion. Will it be Jaron Ennis or Montez Stanionis? We'll see. We will see. Let's get to the get. Keyshawn faces backlash for the Edwin De Los Santos situation. And what do you mean by that, WCS? What do you mean by Keyshawn Davis faces backlash? Well, the last time that Edwin De Los Santos has been in the ring was versus Shakur Stevenson, November 16, 2023. He's going up on a year and a half plus. And supposedly, word was that Edwin De Los Santos refused the purse. And then it turns back around that Keyshawn Davis has indeed locked in with Edwin De Los Santos, and they're going to fight. However and whenever it's announced officially that everything is kosher, cool. But I have to ask myself, now that Keyshawn is a champion, why De Los Santos? A fighter who has been out the ring for so long. Why De Los Santos? Regardless if De Los Santos is a true 135-pound, he's been campaigning at this division for a while, doesn't eliminate the fact that he's been out of the ring and his last fight was in November of 2023. It's a lot that has happened there, Keyshawn. You was there. You was at the T-Mobile massacre. That seems so far away. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to defend your title against someone that's a common opponent of a guy that you're not even going to fight. What's the purpose of having a De Los Santos on your resume off a long layoff? I'm not gathering why. What is the premise behind it? I'm not understanding. This guy's been out the ring for quite some time, bro. He's a common opponent of Shakur Stevenson, which you all continue to play the game and say, oh, we're not going to fight each other. But yet, a common opponent. So what are we supposed to do? You go in there and De Los Santos, the performance value is supposed to be rated on how you did it versus how Shakur Stevenson. No, it's not going to work. Anyone who attempts to give them a grade on performances, then you might be a casual. For real, you might be a casual. Because let me bring this to your attention, okay? Let's look at De Los Santos, right? When De Los Santos, De Los Santos had fought July 2023 against Joseph Adorno, right? From July 2023, he stepped back in there in November 2023 against Shakur Stevenson. That's like a 4-month window. 4-month window. Currently, I think as we stand, 17 months since the last time De Los Santos has been in the ring versus Shakur Stevenson. 17 months, vice 4 months, man, is atrocious. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not cool. I don't know what is the grading scale here. Why? What is the purpose of Keyshawn fighting De Los Santos, who fought Shakur Stevenson last, but yet, regardless of how the fight turns out, this man has had damn near over a 1.5 year layoff to step in the ring with you. And what is the purpose behind it? Are we puppetizing the fans again? Are we trying to say, yes, let me go fight a common opponent? All this common opponent shit has to make sense to the boxing community. How does this Edwin De Los Santos fight make sense to the boxing community, especially at 135 pounds, when we're trying to determine who's the king? If we're trying to assume that it's going to be unification bouts in the future? How does this even make any sense? It makes no sense, bro. The 135-pound division is messy right now. Tank is locked in already. He has a rematch clause. But then you have Shakur over there looking for William Cepeda. Hope he gets it. Then you have Keyshawn fighting a De Los Santos potentially, who's been out the ring for a minute. Y'all tell me, am I tripping? I don't think I'm tripping at all. I don't think I'm tripping at all. This shit don't make no sense to me, and we'll just have to see how it plays out. Real talk. We'll just have to see how everything plays out with Keyshawn fighting De Los Santos, because usually if a fighter is contending a common opponent of a compeer in their same weight class, it's basically to set up a future fight, so to speak, or who did it better, so to speak. But it's without purpose if they're not going to fight each other. Crawford, the perfect storm. Let's talk about some things when it comes to Crawford. Crawford, the perfect storm, has been on record, as we witnessed, just like I just mentioned, that infamous year 2023. This is what I'm talking about, the perfect storm for Crawford. Let's just go back briefly, right? Let's just trolley back. Let's just take the trolley back just a little bit. You remember when you hear people complain about Crawford fighting once a year, right? Okay. You feel it. Okay. Check this out. So there has been a commonality for quite some time when it comes to boxing talk. There was certain individuals complaining about Crawford fighting once a year. Okay. Right now, right here, Crawford is pretty much coming off a fight with Israel Madrimov, where he went a full 12 rounds. Good, solid 12 rounds. Point blank, period. Put the rounds in. It wasn't a short fight. It wasn't Amir Khan. It wasn't Amir Khan type shit. It wasn't a Julius Ndongo in 3 rounds. No. This was 12 rounds. First fight at 154, his debut. And he went in there and fought the champion, went 12 rounds. Now, how does the perfect storm play into this? How do we gauge our coordinates heading to September? Well, I can tell you why there's a lot of people that's upset with Crawford. It's not so much the fact that he's been out for a year and a half, because why would you be mad at that? That has nothing to do with you. It's not like you're not making money if Crawford's not fighting. You're not a part of the team. The reason why people are a bit agitated at Crawford, again, is the fact that he has ample amount of preparation to fight Canelo. They feel that Canelo, who is cementing his legacy again. Look, Canelo is paging another chapter to his legacy by going in there and fighting a guy named Skull for his belt. He will become 2-time undisputed. That's a legacy. This is not all for naught. This is fucking legacy. This is for Canelo's legacy. He goes in there, pick up the belt, 2-time undisputed, period. Legacy. 4-belt era. Now, on the flip side of that, once that fight is over with, ooh, boy, all the meteorologists is going to have a meeting, because the eye of this storm is different. We're about to roll in to September, where the weather is going to be shifty. From the time Canelo beat Skull all the way up to the first press conference, all the way up to fight week on the week of September 13th. Yes. The reason why it's a perfect storm, because Crawford and the mad scientist Bomac have ample amount of time to prepare. People continue to talk about Crawford putting on muscle as if he hasn't put on any muscle before. The man is undefeated, unblemished, untouched in the loss column. The same cannot be said about Canelo Alvarez. I'm going to grab a wrench right now and loosen up one of those bolts. It's not going to take me much strength, because I believe I'm loosening up the bolt of confidence of the Canelo fans, because they feel some type of way that Crawford has too much time to prepare. See, they respect Crawford's ability as a all-around technically savage type of fighter. They respect that. But they just don't want him to have that type of glory with their fighter Canelo Alvarez. They don't want Crawford to have that amount of time to prepare for Canelo. They may sit up here and talk that talk about being mad. They may want to continue to institutionalize themselves, stressing the fuck out, talking about Crawford not having a fight since Madrimov, being out of the ring for a whole nother year. Once again, they may feel some type of way, but he's a dangerous. When I tell you, it's dangerous to know that Crawford has this amount of time to prepare. No ifs, ands, no excuses, no nothing. Look, I'm not saying it's not a possibility for anything may happen, or may potentially happen in fight camp or whatever, but he has the entire 12-month calendar to prepare to split the ropes with Canelo Alvarez. He has prioritized this year from August 2024 to September 2025 to step in there and show the world how great he is. And the fight fans are unsure on what to do. They can't stop it from happening. So the only thing they want to say is, oh man, let's talk about him in the weight gain. Let me see. Let's go to the search engine, related searches. Gaining weight too fast. What is it called? Earaches. Gaining weight too fast. Is it called cancer? How do you get hyponatremia? Oh shit, that's not from weight loss. Weight gain, I mean. What illness can you get from excessive weight gain? I mean, we're talking about an entire 12 months. We're talking about individuals looking at the number 14. Looking at that value like, wow, that's one of the highest numbers I ever seen in my life. 14 fucking pounds from 54 to 68. You're trying to tell me a fighter who makes the limit at 154 and rehydrates on fight night, they're not in the 160s? So the dizziness for me is, when are you all just going to lock in and just support your fighter, right? Instead of jumping on these freaking platforms on social media and going through verbal acrobatics, landing on your fucking head all the time, coming up with new excuses. When you want Crawford to be his best, so there will be no excuses when he steps in there with Canelo. So why y'all continue to get on here with these verbal acrobatic arguments, flipping all over the place, losing your fucking mind, just because Canelo had to go through a fight camp? Just because he's stepping in there with William Skull. And y'all keep on saying William Skull is no threat. But when I hear y'all talk, some of your voices are crackling. Seems like there's a little bit of squeakiness in there. It seems like wherever your vault of confidence is, the security guard has left the area. The door's ajar. And you're lacking the amount that you need to basically fully support Canelo Alvarez heading into this September bout. I tell people all the time, I don't give a damn who you support. Like, when they say shit about Crawford, that doesn't touch me personally. Like, really, it doesn't accost me like that to the point where I'm like, I'm losing it. That's just boxing talk. But then again, you all gonna learn that it's okay to criticize what Canelo has going on, just like it's okay if you feel that you need compensation to turn around and do the same thing with Crawford. It's okay, goddammit. This is this is obviously the biggest fight this year. Canelo has what's supposed to be an easy fight coming up now. How many rounds he allowed to happen, that's up to him, but I'm not sure. But what we know with the perfect storm is that Crawford has ample amount of time to work out the physical aspect of preparation for Canelo Alvarez and the curriculum aspect. The curriculum is just important as the physical aspect of it. Putting on weight, getting in shape. You all are just worried about Crawford getting in shape. But what about the film study? What about the classroom time? What about all the minutes and hours that's going to be invested in studying Canelo Alvarez fight? I hear people say all the time that they haven't seen Canelo really knock out these guys recently, right? And then you have to ask yourself, can he still knock out? And then they want to add Crawford into the equation. Like Crawford has been on the canvas. They say, oh, well, I think Canelo stops him. But then when you bring up references, right? Free references, and say, look, maybe you should check this out now. Canelo, this many fights back, has not stopped anybody. Why? Why would Crawford be the exception to the rule? That's what you're going to have to come to grips with. The reality is, you're going to hear people talking about, oh, Crawford going to go in there and knock out Canelo. Canelo going to go in there and knock out Crawford. You have to just take it as reckless banter and keep it moving. Now, as far as the decision, okay, let's be very attentive on this, right? Yeah, decision seems more logical for both fighters. Okay, in my case, I'm a bit blinded with bias. I see a decision win for Crawford, and I see a decision loss for Canelo. I'm being biased. I'm telling you, I'm being honest, goddammit. I see a decision win for Crawford. I see a decision loss for Canelo. If that makes any sense to you, if that clears up anything. I just believe the amount of time that Crawford has in preparation for Canelo Alvarez, the stars couldn't align any better, yo. You know what I'm saying? Man, the stars could have not aligned any better. I keep hearing all these just chatter about. So, look, I'm just gonna put it out there. A lot of you all don't know how to put on muscle. A lot of you cats have never worked out. Not so much going up to the gym, fumbling around with a couple of 10s or 15-pound dumbbells and stumping your pinky toe because on the 6th rep it fell out your hand and stump your pinky toe. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually putting on a certain amount of muscle, right? And wearing it well to the point where you are still physically capable of performing at a high level, whatever athletics you're performing in, right? Just think about the elite fighters. Crawford and Canelo are elite fighters. So they're not treading into new waters. They've been here before. They've tread water in the boxing aquatics before. Why do y'all act like this is different, yo? I know some of you were saying, man, Crawford, it's unfair that Canelo has a fight and Crawford should have fought somebody like Benavidez or somebody before Andrade, before fighting Canelo. You wanted him to fight somebody for the wrong reasons. Which pretty much, says a lot about your confidence with Crawford going in here, moving up 2 weight classes, and being in one of the biggest fights of the century with Canelo Alvarez. You all can talk about ticket sales all you want. That's not going to matter because this fight is going to do incredible numbers, yo. Incredible numbers. We just seen Tank and Lamont Roach come out with what? 340? 6.4 ticket sale? What? What? In my Lil Jon voice. This fight is going to do incredible numbers, man. The monetary chaos is going to be worth it. When we jump back onto social media, after this fight happened, and Crawford's hand is raised, he become 3 times undisputed. We're going to get back on social media, and hopefully we can have a very relaxing conversation. A dialogue that still brings you back down. Calm your nerves a little bit, because there's going to be a lot of people. It's going to take them weeks upon weeks to get themselves back together. I understand. I get it. But all I'm saying is the perfect storm is Crawford being able to have this much time to prepare, goddammit. He gets to reach levels and defy limits during his training camp, yo, in preparation for Canelo. Canelo, I wouldn't say he needs all that time to face Crawford. Why? Because Canelo said that Crawford's easy. Am I right or wrong? Canelo said that Crawford is easy work, easy money. So I'm gonna say that Canelo doesn't need a whole year to prepare for Crawford because he's easy. All right? Canelo has did enough in boxing right now to earn a 4-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh. He's did enough to be one of the highest paid boxers in the sport of this era. Okay? But with all the money that he's earned, it comes down to this right here. A fighter moving up 2 weight classes. Assuming a smaller fighter that's not just moving up 2 weight classes, but from lighter weight classes. Being able to ladder his accomplishments with championships, more championships, and defeating champions along the way. Not just defeating them any kind of way, but knocking them out, stopping them, preventing them from going the distance in the welterweight division. Not only that, when he moved up to 47, he had a championship fight with Jeff Horn. When he moved up to 54, he had a championship fight with Madrimov. When he moved up to 168 pounds, it too would be a championship with one of the pound-for-pound best, Canelo Alvarez. And I'm going to tell you, that scares a lot of people. You know what I'm talking about? Forget the glamorous paychecks, the glitz, everything. I don't care about Canelo money. You got to make as much money as you want. The haters would say, oh, he shouldn't get paid. I don't care anything about that. I'm glad Crawford is being able to make a huge payday again, because at the end of the day, both of these fighters have to support themselves when the sport is over. And I don't want to see either one of them happen to come back after it's all said and done when they pass their prime and get knocked the fuck out. So this what makes this fight even better, because both of these guys are on their way out the fucking door. But just before they hit their final goodbye, we get to see 2 of the best pound-for-pound fighters go in the ring. No excuses. I mean, look, check this out. Usually you would hear people talk about Crawford's too old. You heard that with Madrimov fight, right? He's too old. Every time I hear that with Canelo, I like it. I say, go ahead, talk about how old Crawford is, yeah. Because that is going to have to be a piece of the conversation that you have to address once the results are settled on the 14th and Crawford goes in there and defeat Canelo. Just because I continue to say Crawford's going to defeat the Canelo, don't let that rile you up every fucking time. Don't be mad. Oh, there you go. Blaze has all that talking that shit. Don't come in here and sound like Ennis. I ain't gonna have he keep on talking that shit. Shit, bitch, we all ain't got this shit about that shit. No, we ain't gonna shut up about a motherfucking thing. We're gonna keep talking and talking, just like y'all be hating on Crawford all the time. It's boxing talk. Grow the fuck up. You have options on whether you want to listen or not. You have options. You just select not to mute that motherfucker by goddamn not tuning in. You can have and like, you know what I'm saying, your favorite fighter. But I know you thinking about all the goddamn time that Crawford has to prepare. When y'all be on here talking about weight as if that's an unachievable feat, him gaining a little bit of weight to step in the ring, and he has to weigh, he has to balance the scales below 168 or leveled. Come on, yo. Why y'all keep on having these conversations about it's going to be too much muscle for Crawford to have going in there fighting Canelo? Why y'all acting like casual boxing fans, yo? Come on, man. Like, real talk. Let's get rid of that. I find that to be divisive, man. I'm trying to bring peace and love and happiness to this motherfucking boxing game, and it seems like it's incredibly impossible. Y'all keep talking about the same shit all the time. Boxing is a combat sport that doesn't come with all the bells and whistles. You have to earn that. You have to earn the right for fans to ring your bell. You have to earn the right for people to whistle and say, God damn it, that's a great right there. That's a motherfucking great. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I was there at that fight in Vegas. That's a great right there. That was a hell of a fight. That is a great. You remember when I said when it was 2022? I mean, when it was 2021, you know, the Sean Porter effect happened, right? And the conversation shifted that they was waiting for Spence to fight Ugas, and they were so happy that Spence was stepping in the ring. Hey, even I was happy to see this fight, right? He stepped in there, and it happened the way it happened. He scooped up the WBA belt. What happened after that? This is one of the same moments, y'all. What happened after that? They was waiting for Errol Spence to pick up the belt. What are they waiting on now? They're waiting on Canelo to pick up this belt from Skull. Same scenario. Who is the motherfucking cowboy who's waiting in the motherfucking on the horizon, right on top of the motherfucking ridge line? Is that Omaha goddamn cowboy? Crawford is the one that's waiting on top of the hill. Same scenario. He was waiting for Spence to fight Ugas so they can goddamn negotiate this fight, right? He was waiting. Now he's waiting again on top of the hill for Canelo to go in there and get this belt from Skull. Same scenario. But the one thing about it, we all know what happened when he finally came down that hill. After goddamn dispersing Avanesian, he came back around, and you saw that motherfucking dust kicking up, and you heard the fight had been made. I'm not even going to take y'all to Vegas anymore because I don't want to ruin your freaking year. I know a lot of you all are trying to put that shit behind you. Every time I bring it up, I get these weird, strange DMs of people that seem overly upset over old news. Listen, just relax. I'm just giving you 2 points of reference. This reminds me of when Crawford was on the hill waiting for Errol Spence to get the belt from Ugas. This reminds me of Crawford waiting on the hill for Canelo to go in there and get this belt from Skull. Let me see, can I even reach a little bit? Let me see. April, May, June, July, August. No, let me go back. Let me go down. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. No, I can't really line them numbers up together. But I'm just thinking, when this all lines itself up, when Crawford pulls up on that goddamn on horseback, and it's time to goddamn go into fight week. I can imagine the atmosphere, the vibe, the energy, the the ambience that's gonna be over there in Vegas for this fight. I can imagine what the event horizon is gonna look like. I can imagine. I can't imagine what the essence of this fight is gonna be for boxing in general. There's a lot of people gonna make money. I hear people talking about making bets. You know what I'm saying? People will talk about making bets, but hey, be careful about betting on here in the YTC because people be running away from paying up. Okay, I'm just letting you know ahead of time. But for the sport of boxing, it's going to be very conducive to the sport. We have an opportunity to see two of the last guards standing, the last of the old guard standing. We get to see a Canelo and Crawford clash, man. We get to see it. We saw the Oleksandr Usyk Furies. You know what I'm saying? We're being able to see some good rematches, some part twos of the rematch. You know what I'm saying? Look, you can't say that this may not go to a rematch. It depends on what's in the contract because it's a 4-fight deal. So when he had in there, before he fight Crawford, he has 3 fights remaining, obviously. Will this be a 2-fight? Or will Crawford just vacate the titles and go on about his way and retire, undefeated and go on about his way? Who knows? Who knows? Real talk. But we'll get to see two of the last old guard in these mid divisions fight each other. Not just any old guard, but pound for pound warriors that's on that list. That's what makes it great. You know what I'm saying? In the boxing universe, that's what makes it great right there. That's what makes it great. Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing in the building. What's good with your blunts? Hold on for a second, y'all. Okay, let me briefly go over this with you all right quick. And shout out to Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. I'm going for Amanda Serrano. I thought she won the part 2. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit up here and argue people down. Like, I ain't breaking down shit with that fight. It happened the way it happened, so be it. Let's go over this right quick. Shout out to Tank Davis, man. He been working with Coach Mustafa on the eve of his rematch with Lamont Roach. I want Lamont Roach to continue on his freaking press tour and just make his rounds. Take full advantage of the 5 to 10 minutes. I'm just coming across this title where Shakur said, F the money, just make the fight. I don't know what Shakur want to say F the money. Never say F the money, Shakur. Never say F the money. Man, you want the money, bro. Damn, what? I could have sworn I had that. Where did I see that at? Shout out to everyone that's dropped through, tuned in to the live. I appreciate you. Where am I at? I'm not over 2 yet. Cool. I can't find that article. But hey, salute to y'all, man. Appreciate everyone pulling up. We should visit this once again, of course, in 2025. Continue to support the channel. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. I'm out.